Well, howdy, friends and floorheads. It has been over a year since we went on break. We promised we would start around first quarter of 25. Well, it's third quarter 25. So we made it within the year anticipated. And I've missed these characters and I can't wait to see them play again. Now, originally, the Raven sisters, when we wrapped up episode 41, had planned to pack up and move camp. But they ended up staying for an additional 2 weeks, and so did our characters. They stayed for an additional 2 weeks. So we're going to pick up with them after that 2 week period. Now, how did they spend those 2 weeks? Have they decided where they're going to go in Raven's Land? Have they decided are they going to be the people that potentially save Raven's Land from Zytera? What is next? Find out after the intro.
A band of heroes bold, stand a hunter versus fair, with tales of glory told, Osric with his mighty blade, Rustbite of demonic hue, and silver half of merchant king, their journey did ensue. Silver trades and secrets hold a smile upon her face, while Osric swings his fearsome sword in battle's fierce embrace. Through Raven's Land they wander in search of ancient stones, to free the land from darkness where evil's terror roams. With courage as their banner and hearts forever true, they seek the light within the night, their quest for me and you. Stern the hunter tracks the beast with arrows swift and sure. Vasilla sings of battles past, her voice a magic.
Back, baby.
We are back. So it is the morning of Springwain 32. Partly cloudy. Still a little chilly in the mornings, but tends to warm up by the mid-afternoons now. I'm imagining that the four of you over a 2 week period really kind of set up a more permanent camp with your large tent than you would normally. And I have you guys kind of packing up and with a clear plan on where you're headed. But 2 weeks have passed. So I think we need to do kind of an understanding of what we have been doing for those 2 weeks. So maybe Osric, how do you think you have been spending the last 2 weeks?
Man, you're going to start with me like I had spent all this time thinking about it.
You had a year.
Well, for half or more of that year, there was no 2 weeks. So I think that some of the things he's been doing is spending some time thinking about and trying to use this new gem clasp and see what that experience is like. I think another thing that he's been doing is trying to help out around camp in terms of things like getting prepared to leave, like cutting firewood, prepping the forge for the blacksmith, anything that these people need that relies on strength is something that he would be taking time to do for them.
How about Sten? Sten, how did you spend your 2 weeks?
I think Sten has also been trying to help out around the camp, probably does some hunting to try and contribute to the communal pot because, you know, these people have done us a lot of favors, so I want to return as far as I can. And then I think whenever I have an opportunity to talk to folks, especially the ones who travel more, I'm trying to find out if any of them know anything about either this mysterious elven group that might have a gem or the orcs at the Eye of the Rose. Anything anybody can tell me about interactions they've had, or if they've met people who have had interactions with them, just trying to get whatever information I can.
Yeah, so let's say that there's been spread over several conversations. You definitely have, it's very clear, though you're getting different accounts, right? And there's people that have come to camp and left camp. But what I think you have solidified pretty much is that Eye of the Rose was not an orc encampment originally. It is very high up on a plateau, very defensible where it is, but the actual castle that used to be Eye of the Rose is pretty dilapidated, and that's when these orcs moved in. There is talk that there is a orc that is trying to unite them, not only the orcs that are there, but maybe trying to find some of the scattered clans and unite them. Not really clear why, because he and all of them have pretty much kept to themselves. I think one thing that is interesting is there now seems to be a connection to these Red Runners, which are these nomadic elves that have been traveling through. And you keep hearing a connection, that there's some sort of friction between these two factions. You've gotten more verification that there's potentially a gem there. Not refer to it as one of the gems, right? But just talk about a treasure that's being very coveted. It's tied to this orc's wife, someone who's being referred to as the Empress. And as far as the Red Runners are concerned, you hear that they're kind of bad news. You don't want to run up against them. If you see them, go the other way. They are somewhat militant, is what you've kind of picked up.
How would we know if we saw them? Do they have like a distinctive garb or look?
No,
or
doesn't appear
just
to
if
be.
you see a bunch of elves wandering around.
Yeah. And keep in mind too that elves as a kin are pretty rare. It's not very often that you come across an orc or an elf or a halfling. It's predominantly humans that populate Ravensland. You've got other kin like wolfkin you've heard talk about, and those are by far the rarest of all the kins.
Okay.
Silva, what have you been doing for 2 weeks?
Yeah, I think Silva likes to kind of keep herself varied. I feel like she'd probably get bored doing the same thing repeatedly. So like one day she'll be like assisting in physical labor, like with Osric, and then maybe one day she'll be like, "Hey Sten, you mind if I go on a hunt with you?" And try to help out there without dragging you down too much. But I think predominantly, other than like caring for Thundercloud and helping about, I think the two things she'd be doing mostly would be she's doing a bit of light trading, like falling into her habits of like, I've got this, and kind of trade off goods and kind of, pack the bag essentially.
Yeah.
Try to collect useful this, that, and the
Keep
other.
looking at your mic, Nate.
Sorry. And then I think while she's doing that, she's also, and maybe even slipping this in casually, she's trying to get more rumors about Marigal, because a lot of the information that was just received has been kind of, like tweaking at her a little bit. So she's kind of like maybe every once in a while bringing it up. Like, has anyone seen her about lately? Like, it's been a minute since we've seen the Golden Eyes. Just kind of seeing if anyone knows anything.
Yeah, and Rook has not returned. So if you remember, Rook escorted Aldrich back to Oakenheart, and he has not come back to camp, though nobody finds that strange. He would go weeks and weeks without coming back to the camp. No sign or talk of Marigal. And there's a surprisingly number of people that don't really know who they are. They're not really aware of them. And you mentioned yellow eyes, and like Rooks, right? And that'll come up. You have some that are not a fan, which you had a conversation with as we wrapped up 41, but no sign that she's around, that she's been heard of. So,
Okay.
How about Vasilla?
So the rumor mill that I'm most interested in is something about Oakenheart. I want to hear about home and if there's been movements of Rust Brothers, because I'm concerned that they know where we're from and we don't like them and don't think they like us.
So let's cut back to maybe 2 days ago. There's a large central area to the camp where they have a campfire, where they have built a pretty intricate structure to minimize and break up the smoke. So from far away, that smoke isn't visible. And it's evening. Maybe you're sitting there on a log by the fire, and Zara comes down, Zara Nightshade, and she sits with you, and she said, I know, Vassy, that you wanted word from Oakenheart.
Mhm.
And well, one of the sisters happened to pass through about 4 or 5 days ago, and whenever someone comes in from being away, they come to my tent and brief me, and Oakenheart did come up. Rook is no longer there. He stayed for about a week or two, and then moved along. Your friend Aldrich seems to be doing well, finding himself useful. He was welcomed as a hero, and apparently is telling some pretty amazing tales. I think it'd be interesting someday to find out whether half of what he is sharing with the town is actually things that you experienced along with him. But there was one thing, and the reason I came over. Are you familiar with a young man named Thorleaf? And the answer is potentially yes. And I need you to decide this as a character, and this involves Sten. So Thorleaf was a young man, late teens, early 20s, and would go hunting with Sten. And I think, Sten, you are as close to Thorleaf as kind of just a hunting buddy, a guy who asks questions and who you enjoy teaching. I don't know necessarily that you have a closer bond to him beyond that. I don't think there's any type of paternal relationship that you have with him. So I don't know, Vassy. It's a small, him, right? It was a small place. Do you know of this boy?
Yeah. There's only, whatever, a couple of dozen families.
So he apparently, and I think there's some worry, especially from his family, he began talking about a desire to explore, and specifically to find the rose. And then one evening they found him packing up in the middle of the night, and he seemed off, and he left, and his parents tried to reason with him, and he had no interest, and just said that he was going to head south and find the rose. And they have not seen him for several weeks. That's about the extent. I meant you and I talked that you were worried at one point about Rust Brother presence. Apparently, there have been Rust Brothers that have come through there, but none have laid stake.
Good.
What I don't know, of course, because there are times where they will have spies.
Hmm.
That's very common, but there is no overt Rust presence, apparently.
Yeah, that's good to hear. I assume there is someone there keeping eyes, but they're not enslaved the population, or the things your mind tricks you at night. Good, thank you. I'm sorry to hear about Thor. I wonder what got into him. He was fine enough. Kind of, just quiet jerk. Well, thank you for telling me, and thank you so much for your hospitality. I know you know much more about us and our wiles than many of your sisters, but I know it brings some danger to you, so thank you.
Well, I know we're packing up here in a few days, and you should know that we're gonna miss your tea.
Yeah. Well, I've learned a lot. Anyway, yeah. Thank you.
Then, if it's all right with the four of you, I want to cut to last night. Where do you think the four of you convene to be just the four of you? Is that something you guys do in the tent? Do you go outside of the camp? Where would we find the four of you as far as having kind of a what the hell are we going to do tomorrow conference?
I think that I make us get together for family dinner.
Ooh,
and
okay.
I think that we do that, maybe every day, if you're not like too sweaty. But I think I just make everyone wait for dinner until until we have family dinner. So I think we do that out by like a specific kind of like stump or something that like, or a rock that like sits the pot, and I've like cooked up the food, you know, and like we all sit down in our like spots, you know, we all have. Then the first day of college, you all like find your spot, and that's your spot for the rest of the course. Like, we did that. So I think we're all there, and I think it's, you know, maybe it's a little late that day because I don't know, Sten took a little while getting back, or maybe Osric was just, with all the moving, just had like a lot of labor to do, and I made him go clean up. But like, I think by the time we all sit down, the sisters are done eating, and it's just us in our little spot. Does that make sense? That good for everyone?
Sure.
Well, let's cut there.
So tomorrow we walk.
Tomorrow we walk.
Are you?
Where to?
You decided that you want to carry on with us then, Sylvia?
Well, you know, Thundercloud said he would miss y'all, so I wouldn't want to hurt his feelings.
Yeah.
And
Especially Stan.
Thunderclap's gained a few pounds. He likes it in camp.
Well, good. That's good to hear.
Well, if we're talking about where to go, assuming no one's changed their mind too strongly from the last time we had a conversation about this, the main reason we're out here doing this is because these stones are too important to leave alone. And if that's our focus, I think there's only one where we more or less know where it is. And that's the Eye of the Rose. Now, if we could find and talk to these Red Runner elves, because what I've heard is correct, the Eye of the Rose used to be an elf castle. So these Red Runners might know something about it, might know a secret way in, might even be willing to help us if we were to take something from the orcs. But they also might be angry if they found out that we wanted to take possession of these things. And given that we don't know where they are, I feel like our best bet is to try and head for the eye.
So the one orc knew the smell of them.
Mm-hmm.
Is that an orc thing, you think? Or is that what a magic thing for them, do you think? We can't go traipsing in with two.
If they've got one that can sense them, they surely have, I would imagine, you know, more. Actually, that one is still alive. So.
Well, it was when we left him.
Yeah, we didn't kill any of them.
Yeah, but nor should we. We
agree.
are not of rust. I think you're right. I think we have to go. But I don't know that we should walk in with our treasures with us. Not that I have a better place to put them.
Yeah, I was going to say, what would you recommend doing with them?
Maybe a thing that we can find a solution for on the trek, or maybe you can find some place to hide them outside the castle. Do we approach as friends? Do we approach as servants? Is it all orc? There's, you know, I guess we know as much as we did now a month and a half ago when we left home.
Yeah. From
Craig,
what I
do we
remember
have
from what...
any idea how many orcs are in Eye of the Rose?
You've gotten varied accounts. The lowest you've heard is like 25, but you've heard numbers that are in 3 digits.
Well, from what I've heard, the fact that we spared that last bunch of orcs may not have endeared us to them. Apparently that's sort of shameful to them. So even if we go in expecting a good reception, we may not get one. I think we should get close, have a look, and see what we think.
That is wise. I think that's probably the best solution we have. Best direction we have.
What do you
Rumor
think,
says there's
Osric?
a secret passage.
Thirds?
I'm gonna
I
start
just like fill your bowl with like more porridge.
There, now that
I-
you mention it, there was supposedly a secret passage that our thief friend that we met in the cage had been using. We didn't get specifics, but between him and the Red Runners, there is some way they're getting in and out relatively safely.
I'm certainly not looking forward to fighting an army.
Or two.
Well,
We
that's
can
something to
certainly
consider. If we get in and can negotiate with them and it doesn't immediately turn into a fight, what are we going to tell them? Hi, you know that big important magic treasure you have? We want it. How do we think that's going to go over?
The one you gave to your true love.
Well,
Well, just have to see if we can make it worth their while.
so one of the rumors in the journal mentioned an orc falling in love with an elf. That is a historical, like, lore fairy tale thing, right?
And would be insane. Right? The idea of that is
Yeah.
very unbelievable.
Right. It's even further along than Romeo and Juliet. Like,
Very
it's
much
different.
so.
Yeah.
Elf
It's
and a
like something
human
you
is
do
one
in a
thing.
bad Hobbit movie.
Well, you know, we're used to walking into blindness. Should be used to it by now, I suppose.
I mean, at least we have some information.
So it sounds like we're packing up and heading out. Does that sound right?
Afraid so.
All right. So let's go to the let's go to the map.
The map. The map, the map, the map.
So what you have been told is that the Eye of the Rose is due east, maybe 50, 60, 70 kilometers. And then you're supposedly should find a small mountain range. You're to go south of that mountain range, and then it should be just northeast of that mountain range. But due east is what they're recommending first.
So past
Take us
Amber's
past
Peak.
Amber's Peak.
Mm-hmm.
Well, suppose we'll find out what's happening there.
Mhm.
Let's do something that we have not done in a very long time. Let's bring up our
Go to credits. Damn.
yeah. Let's go to credits.
Time for break.
Session.
No, it's not a cliffhanger yet. We can't do that.
So let's go to our party sheet and go to the travel section and talk to me about what we're doing.
I found it.
Well, the first square or two we've been through, so I don't think I need to lead the way.
Correct. There's no need for lead the way if you go on into areas that you have been before.
Right, so that means you get to be the Eagle Eyes then, because you're not too busy finding where we're going.
Okay.
Because you're also good at that, as I recall.
I'm not bad. What are the rest of you all doing?
I don't know. Break that rust off. What are we doing here?
I mean, there's nothing
There's
else to
just
do,
a
right?
walk,
We're just
right?
like,
There's no,
hanging
no
out.
more
Yeah, I
mandatory
guess
tasks.
almost everybody else is welcome.
Well,
There's two jobs. There's two
someone
jobs, right?
yeah, and is it keep? I think there's a keep watch on travel as well.
Yeah,
right?
that's dead.
Right.
Yeah,
Well,
yeah,
that's
so
that's
there's-
where I was moving to because
Gotcha.
I don't need to lead the way.
There's, yeah,
Okay.
there's lead the way,
then-
which is only when we haven't been in the hex before.
Right.
All right, so let's do that, and then everybody go to hike, and let me get that roll stand to see.
Yeah. Let's see. I don't think I have any bonuses on this one particularly.
Strong start.
Ah, it's good to be back.
First roll.
Will we
Coach
push?
begins.
We do push.
Yes, we will.
All right. So 1 damage to wits, but you got your success. So that's great. So let's move to the northeast one. You have no option. You couldn't go southwest or southeast because the mountains are still
There's
there.
too many mountains there. Yep.
Yeah.
Exactly.
And I mean, it's been a bit since the four of you and the Thundercloud have traveled. It starts to warm up. You're in the foothills of the mountains, but mostly in grasslands. This grass varies between, for a human, knee length, sometimes up as high as mid-thigh. Nice warmer breeze. You have some time. So as you're walking through this grasslands, bringing the cart and the donkey with you, what type of preparatory thoughts or discussions are happening for Eye of the Rose? Is there any sort of plan that's forming at all?
Plan, he says.
I think, at least in my view, right, we just like scout it out, right? Like we'll see how many orcs are there, how big it is, how dilapidated it is, if it's got like mixed races, if it's got like a little right, when we showed up to Amber's Peak, for instance, there was like a camp of horsemen, and then there was like the castle separate, right? And like it's that kind of thing. And there's a lot of just like meh.
Craig, I don't know if it matters to you, but we actually could see that result.
Oh, that's not
Yeah.
good. All right. Ignore it. Don't click it.
Why would I do that? Yeah, I think Sten's probably not saying a lot, but he's just kind of racking his brain thinking about what the possibilities might look like. You know, his eyes are going on autopilot, but he's just like, well, what do we do if we meet a patrol? What do we do if they're friendly? What do we do if they invite us in? Just sort of running through all the possibilities in his head and not having any good answers yet.
Now, to give you kind of a sense of terrain, as you look to the north and look to the, where to the southeast that takes you towards Amber's Peak. You've not explored north or northeast of here. You're just seeing continued grasslands. You're seeing no mountains up on the horizon. We can stay on traveled paths if we want, or we can, go to uncharted areas. Are we thinking southeast? Northeast, north?
I have no desire to be near Amber's Peak again, Sten. If you want to take a wide berth,
I'm happy to find some new terrain. Besides, that's one of the ways we get XP. So I will. I can lead the way northeast if somebody else wants to keep watch.
yeah, I'll sit on the wagon and look.
Take a high point.
Yeah.
There's
Not
an
because
A.
I'm
We
not
found
because
an
I'm
A.
lazy. It's because I need to be above the grass.
It's a
Yeah.
vantage point.
Fair.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Silva's just leading Thundercloud on the ground. She actually likes walking. So
Yeah. All right. So I don't get any bonuses on this, but I can spend a willpower if I need a success. So let's do that.
Strong.
Huh.
Oh,
what a
indeed.
night.
How witty are you feeling?
Well,
Ooh.
I'm apparently real tired. I haven't done this in a while.
What do you have left for wits?
Hold on, I just closed me. I think I have one. I do. I have one.
You have one left.
Yep.
So
Because they're both wits.
yeah, so
Mm-hmm.
I guess what I'm wondering here, Sten, is in the 6 hours that you have traveled, keeping watch, keeping your head on a swivel is obviously mentally exhausting. Do you have a sense of why?
Well, I think that's what it is, because he spent a couple weeks more or less not having to worry about this stuff. And now that it's back, and now that kind of the weight of what these gems mean and what the significance of it is, it's just weighing down on him. His thoughts just keep going in circles. What do we do? Well, we can't let them capture these things. What if they get the rest of them? And then what if the other person and there's people in it, and just round and round, and just stressing himself out to the point that he's not even paying as much attention to where we're going that we should.
So that's not good.
I
Clock's
know.
not working. Just trying to move it up to second quarter. As you're walking, the sounds of these grasslands are becoming almost a white noise. At the beginning of the morning, you were very conscious of the sounds of the crickets. Every once in a while, you would hear a songbird, but eventually you kind of stop hearing it. It doesn't mean that it's not happening, right? Your mind lets it fade into the background. And I think maybe, Sten, that's why you hear the yelling. And as soon as you hear it, you turn off to your right to look of where you think that sound is coming from. And maybe a good 200 or 300 yards down, you can see what appears to be two figures. And that appears to be where the yelling is coming from. It two definitely distinct voices.
We hear yelling, but we can't make out like words.
I mean, you can tell where it's coming from, right?
It's ahead of us.
Yeah, yeah, kind of off to your right.
Okay.
Um,
Well, I kind of glance at the other three, point in that direction in case any of them haven't heard it, which I'm sure they have.
yeah, we can.
And I think I will, kind of hunker down in the tall grass a little bit and try and get a little closer to see what's going on.
Can we get a quick stealth roll from you? Before
Yes,
you roll
because
that,
stealth
though-
is not a wits roll.
But before we do that, can I get an idea as, Sten kind of, like, sounds like you kind of put your hand up. Obviously, for those that weren't hearing or seeing, you bring it to their attention. Sten is now going to attempt to get closer. What are the three of you doing?
I mean, if he's trying to sneak, we don't need like a bunch of us going. So I guess just kind of slowing down Thundercloud and like turning towards it, so we're close enough to respond.
Yeah, I think Silva's reined back. Thundercloud got him to a full halt, and she's just kind of standing by, keeping an eye on Sten's direction. She's got her new crossbow nearby at hand, but she doesn't have it drawn yet. Just like ready to respond.
Okay. Let's get that stealth roll, Sten.
Alrighty.
you can get a
Surely
plus
I'm
one.
due for some successes.
Yeah, and add a die for me, because they're very focused on each other.
Okay. There we go.
Geez, very nice. I'm gonna let you get pretty close with those three successes, without being seen. And information starts coming in the closer you get, right? So you get a little bit closer, and it's very clear that they are yelling at each other, though it's not clear who they are. You're on the grass, staying low, slowly moving closer. Once you get within about 100 yards, I think you can start to sense who these two are and what they're doing. They appear to be battling each other, fighting each other. And boy, it really looks like an elf and an orc. You still can get closer, though. So as you get closer and closer, you realize it appears to be a woman, a female elf. And it appears to be a man, the orc, of male persuasion. And as you get closer, they are hacking at each other with swords. They seem to be pretty evenly matched, because, I mean, it's taking you time to go this distance, to sneak up this close. and none has felled the other at this point, but they are fighting with vigor. And though you can't make out the words, the tonality tells you that they are insulting each other. And you finally get close enough to hear her say, "Your swordsmanship is of orc. This is not even worth my time." And the man says, "I will strike you down as every elf should have been strucken for all of the time here in Forbidden Lands." Raven's Land, sorry.
Right.
So
He said the name of the thing.
they
Tell him,
are
Rob.
definitely fighting each other,
Mhm.
and definitely just they don't appear to like each other very much.
Right. This
And
is not a friendly sparring match.
It does not appear to be the case, but I do want an insight roll from you.
Insight roll.
I do.
Oh no.
That's a thing that a person could roll. Oh no, that's a wits roll.
You are a human.
Don't
However you
push
want
it.
to.
Yeah, just don't push
Oh, nope, no idea.
Yeah, I think everything is face value, right?
Uh-huh.
But that was an incredible stealth roll, so you are undetected at this point.
Focus on the good.
All right.
Speak
so
up. I don't understand what you're saying.
what I would like to do is kind of reach a hand up out of the grass, hoping to get these three's attention. I feel like these two are probably
They've been
pretty
watching you the
focused.
whole way, right? They've been tracking you, I'm sure.
Yeah, they know more or less, and just kind of do a wave and a maybe kind of come this way gesture.
Okay. Yeah, I think Silva would.
When you say this way, like you want us to go this way?
To come towards me.
Great.
Yeah,
Don't need
I
a
think-
stealth roll from the rest of you. He's kind of made way for you. So if you kind of follow the path he went, you were going to say something, Silva. I'm sorry.
No, yeah, I think Silva seeing Sten like draw us in, assumes that we're trying to maybe put on a more diplomatic approach to whatever's going on here. So she kind of stands up straight and kind of pulls Thundercloud and like, come on, we're gonna see if we can make a hard sell to these two.
So if you bring the wagon and the donkey, you will be noticed.
I understand that.
Sten, you're okay as you see Silva approaching?
Yeah, I mean, I was getting ready to say something, but when I see them coming in the wagon, I think I'm actually going to wait and see what kind of reaction we get when they realize they have company.
I think once they're super focused on each other, just
Mm-hmm.
bashing, and one the orc has a shield, and they're just going at it. You get the impression, Sten, and Ostric, you would pick this up as well, that they are semi-skilled. Neither of them are very good at what they're doing, which might explain the fact that they've yet to hurt each other. By the time that Vasila, Ostric, Silva, and the wagon get within 100 yards, I think is when the orc catches eye. And he's going to see the three of them, not going to necessarily see you, Sten. And he stops and he points his scimitar towards the three of you and just bellows, "Who goes there?"
Now.
And the elf stops.
Merely a simple merchant upon the road. Please, put aside your weapons. No need to fight brutishly. Let us see if we can perhaps resolve this conflict between the two of you.
Can I get a manipulation roll?
I would love to. And in fact, my intention with that was to use my sharp tongue talent.
Oh, you definitely
Calling them
can you remind us what that does?
I sure
Point at the mic.
I will post it. Sorry, I was looking to post it to chat. So at rank 1, if I manipulate someone and I have more than one success, I can do empathy damage.
Oh, interesting. So that's something for you to remember in combat. That's something you can use in combat, Silva.
Yeah, and that's kind of the idea here. Is I'm trying to like break this combat by just like,
Yeah.
listen, you're being a couple brutes.
All right.
Calm
let's
it
do
down.
Boy, we are hot tonight.
I
What a
tell you,
night.
man.
I'm gonna go for it. I want it.
So, Go ahead and push for me.
Hey.
Okay, I got the one.
And I need to understand a few things. One, obviously, the first thing you're saying to them, you are not getting the desired reaction. I think actually what ends up happening is both the elf and the orc stop fighting each other and start walking towards you with weapons up. And you realize that they can't see Sten, but they're going to get to Sten before they get to the three of you. What do you then say afterwards that ends up causing you to take 1 damage in empathy and
That's
stops
really
them in their
interesting.
tracks?
I think she stumbles back a bit. Oh no, I meant no offense, and just kind of actually like panics. Like has that moment of panic, like oh I have drawn aggro.
Mhm.
I have overstepped my bounds.
And what do you say?
Craig, what I would like.
Please.
No, I was just going to say, if these look like they are getting close and being aggressive towards the rest of the group, I would like to, from cover, put an arrow just like a few feet in front of where they're walking. You know, just kind of land it there as a warning shot, basically.
Let's
to
do
let
that.
them know that they are being observed and uncovered.
Sten doesn't mess
Which
around.
may not be the most friendly, but let's see.
I mean,
It is one way to shake hands.
would it be Stead if it was the most friendly?
I mean, come on. All right, so I have. I know I have to go back and remember all my talents to be how they go. It is. I have a D8 artifact die,
Ooh.
and I have.
And I think that will that come up now if you click on the longbow and you choose?
It did not.
It did not. Okay.
No.
I think you can fix that.
Yeah,
So-
I don't need to push it at all. I just want
Nope.
to put it in front of them.
So what they see is they are, and to give you an idea, Silva, they're confused. And they're walking towards ultimately the four of you, only seeing three of you, and they
Mhm.
seem more guarded than they seem aggressive.
Okay, that I may have misunderstood that, but given
I
where
don't
my
know if
wits
you
are,
pick
that's
up on
not
that.
unreasonable. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think you pick up on that with all that wits damage.
Mhm.
And then we see an arrow fly just out of the grass and land in front of them. And we've not heard a word from the elf, but the orc goes, "We're no threat. We're no threat."
All right.
And see, we understand that. Now, perhaps we can avoid any unnecessary bloodshed today.
There's no bloodshed today. Right? And he turns to her and she goes, "No, yes, of course, no bloodshed."
So, what were you two doing then? Swinging swords at each other is bloodshed related.
Can we come closer without
Please, come.
Sten, do you reveal yourself?
I think I will stand up so they can see that I'm here.
Yeah, I think Silva would even Sten, please come.
And I'll probably like hold the bow up so they can see I'm not aiming at them.
You startle them. They both visibly startle as you just kind of melt out of the grass and stand up. And they approach, and in fact, I think they both sheathe. She's got a kind of a long sword, and he's got a scimitar, and then they sheathe them, and they're both, hands empty, and they come close, and they say, "Well, we are no threat. We are no threat."
Yeah, understand. And our apologies if we were intruding. It just
You are you looking for us? Did
No.
someone send you?
No, we just happened upon this way and didn't want anyone to come to any unnecessary harm. There's been enough of that in these days.
Are you, and you see the elven woman kind of look up, and they're both, just by the way, they're both pretty plainly dressed. She of course is just stunning. She's a little over 6 foot, beautiful soft features, high cheekbones, long braided blonde hair. Don't know whether he's handsome or not. Tough to say. I don't know how versed you are with orc attractiveness. You see her kind of looking past where you came from, and she goes, "Did you come from Amber's?"
Well, not recently.
And where are you headed?
We're just simply traveling east.
You headed to the Rose.
Do you know of it?
And like oddly, you see the orc kind of like give kind of like the shut the hell up look to the elf as soon as she says that.
I'm gonna put on my best like little kid like demeanor. And I'm like, yeah, the Rose is where the elves are from, isn't it? It's a beautiful castle and like streamers and the sun always shines and there's like a river that goes through it. It's beautiful. I read about it.
It is beautiful, but are you headed that way?
No,
Do you mean to go to the Rose?
Is it that way? Will I see it?
And she keeps looking at him for like almost like permission. And he goes, "It is east of here, yes."
Wait, are you Rosians? Rosites? Rosalians?
I am, the orc says. And if you meet another orc on your ways, or if you're headed to the Rose, you did not see me here.
Of course not.
Understood.
But why didn't I see you here? If it's beautiful, why not be happy that you're from there?
Let's get a manipulation from you, Vasel.
Let me push on the right button and find the right thing. Aha! 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 Aha!
God, you guys.
Oh my god. Did they update the algorithm on the Forge?
I was
Come
going to
on.
say, updating these dice did not work.
Oof.
Do I want to push that? It's a lot of damage just hanging
A
out
lot
here.
of damage.
Yeah,
It is a
that's-
lot
yeah,
there.
none of that was on skill. That was all
Fine.
on your empathy.
Yep, I'll live. I'll live with the failure. Sadness.
What? His demeanor changes a little bit. He goes, "What we're doing here is none of your business, and I will tell you." And he draws his sword, but not to strike, but to point. And he points at you, Vasil, and he goes, "And if you tell anyone I've been here, I will find you in the middle of the night as you sleep. You must swear you have not seen me. Tell no orc of me."
Can I tell elves of you, though? You're a pretty lady.
She kind of rolls her eyes at you a little bit. My friend is asking something very reasonable. We are strangers, and we're just asking to remain strangers. And if anybody asks,
We don't even know your name, sir. We
Nor
wouldn't know
shall
who to
you
tell
know
if someone
names.
did ask.
all we are asking, and you are free to pass from here, is that you did not see us. I don't feel that that is an outrageous request.
Fair enough.
Your secret is safe with
Seems
us,
fine to
then.
me.
You do drag your left foot on your left repost, though.
He goes, I told you. Listen to her. She's 100% correct.
I mean, if we clearly we've disturbed you at whatever it is you're doing. We honestly are a little bit curious about the Eye of the Rose. If we were to provide lunch, could we talk with you for a bit, maybe?
You will say nothing.
I have nothing to say.
She turns to him and she goes, I've built up a bit of an appetite. Too trusting. Let's sit and eat.
Alright.
I agree.
Excellent.
So talk to me.
I'm going to get to chefing, which I have a cool kid talent about, but that's really
Nice.
to turn like, unfinished goods into finished food goods. But
I think
When did you know what you're doing?
I want a crafting roll, and that's going to determine how much info you get out of the two of them. We need a good enough meal.
Oh no!
all right, so
Nice.
crafting is a strength-based trait for cooking.
Hooray.
It sure is.
And what chefing?
Huh.
Do I get like an extra talent from chefing here?
Sadly, no.
No, it only lets me do the actual skill of
It just
chefing.
lets you do it. Huh?
Ugh.
It
Let
lets
you convert raw food into
into
food you
into
can store.
rations.
All right.
Can I go ahead and assist Vasilla with the meal?
Sure. Let's add a skill die.
I mean, you can do it if you want.
Or have
You know,
Vasilla
you're the
assist
chef.
me?
Yeah, I'll make tea. You can chef.
Okay. Silva, you want to make lunch?
Sure. Can I
I'll
get a
assist you.
Bonus
Second
for
breakfast?
That's a
bonus for
different
Priscilla?
fantasy system entirely.
There's no halflings there
All right, let's roll it.
with furry feet.
God damn! Come on,
Oof.
man.
Well, you
There's
know,
no Banes. That's
So
a good
we
set.
see Silva take the spoon up and taste it. Go.
win in Rome. Push like the Romans do.
All right. I'm gonna break you guys just on.
Okay, there we go.
rolls.
We made a
All right.
decent meal.
Yeah, break,
Oh, it's a success.
but you got a success. So you sit down. The tea saves lunch.
Yeah.
The food is fine.
Silva
And-
added some spices she traded from the sisters.
Her name is Heldeman. He's Alcaran.
I thought they weren't going to tell us their names. Now we know.
We would never
And
tell.
it appears they are in love. And they have convinced themselves that Alcaran could go back to the Rose and successfully present his love to the Emperor. And if they were to entertain him, he might accept her and the passion that they have for each other. So what they have been doing have been staging this play. And because they'll be performing for Hiroka, who is the emperor of Eye of the Rose, he loves violence. So any type of entertainment involves swordplay and tales of death and destruction. And that's what they've been trying to piece together as some sort of skit or small play about the two of them hating each other and then eventually falling in love in hope of convincing him that potentially that was. But the reason that Alcaran is insistent and he keeps saying it, do not mention I was here, you did not see me, is because if it was found out that he was even spending time with an elf, he would be at best exiled, but more than likely killed. So that's the
Well, if
information they
they're-
give you. What questions do we have for them?
I mean, if their response is going to be that harsh, do you really think you can convince the Emperor that your love is strong enough to withstand all that?
So, like a cinnamon roll with extra icing. This is the sweetest thing you've ever heard.
Oh no, it's extremely sweet. It's also extraordinarily stupid.
Alcaran says to you, living without her is no longer an option. So if this brings me death, I will die happy.
This whole thing has Silva like all kinds of mushy. She's like on her stomach, like kicking her legs, listening to this story, like, oh, it's so cute.
So why not go to the other side of the coin and live with her people?
I think they have better odds with the orcs.
We met north of here. She looks at him. She goes, months ago now. I'm not going to get into why I left my people. I'm from far north. I have no interest in going back to them. And the hardest thing is sometimes Alcaran has to go back for days. And I can't imagine. And this is shameful to say, but we have a much better chance of the Emperor accepting us than we do of my clan in the north. They would kill him on sight.
Is it the Red Runners? I think I've heard of Red Runners.
Ooh, that's interesting. So she reacts to that. And she says, what do you know of them?
Only that we should take care.
He stands up and he goes, are you working with them? No. Is that what this is all about?
Oh, Lord, no.
No, I was warned by other friends to be careful around them, is all. You're the first full elf I think I've ever met.
They are dangerous, he says. The idea of a half-elf, shortling like you with two humans, they'd slaughter you on sight. I don't know if they would do that. They would slaughter them on sight. They lust for
how do
blood.
you think the Emperor would react? Because what I was thinking when I saw your duel, look, I'm a ranged guy. I don't know from sword fighting. But I think what that duel really needs is some music.
That's interesting. I don't play anything.
Well, it's funny you should mention that. And I just kind of look at Vasilla.
I do know several songs about violence.
And you would go with us and take the chance?
I would, but have you considered
if
going...
the Emperor does not like what we perform, he might kill you too.
Well,
it seems a lot safer than the four of us walking right up to the Rose.
Why are you going to the Rose then?
I've heard that he has a beautiful queen himself. Should he not understand love?
He obsesses over that woman. I recommend you don't look at her too long.
I guess the real question is, how do you think the Emperor would react to a collection of non-orcs coming in?
Oh, sorry, Sed. Question, quick. Does the Emperor still have his face?
Yes.
Okay.
Good.
So he will... I am convinced that the first and the greatest Roka will give me the opportunity to perform. I've been a good blacksmith for him. I don't think I don't think he would kill us all on sight. But I can make no promises. And again, it's one thing for her and I to risk our lives. She sweetly puts her hand on his knee as he says that. But it's a lot to ask the four of you, and I don't understand. What business do you have at the Rose? Especially with her. And he points to you, Sola.
We're making connections. It's, been a little bit of time since the mist lifted, and we're just trying to see if we can perhaps connect more people.
They might trade with you two. And he points to Osric and Sten. Maybe your best chances is the fact that I'm bringing full elf. They will focus on my love. Could you pass human?
Do you?
I kind of toss on my hair so it covers my ears. They're not quite as, like the full ones are.
Mm-hmm.
And she goes, and she's short.
Fair.
Called out.
We ran into a fellow from the Eye by the name of Mortug a while back. Do you know him?
I do.
I think we may have offended him, so I'm hoping we'll get an opportunity to apologize.
Oh, you can apologize. He's staked outside the gate with his 4 friends.
Oh, what did he do?
Don't expect a response. He came back battle-worn. He did not bring a body.
Oof. That's awful.
Roka will not accept such a thing. Either you die in battle or you conquer. They apparently did neither. He beheaded them immediately. So if you wish to share your sympathies or your regrets, I would imagine his head is still by the gate.
Have you considered going to a different town that doesn't behead people for existing?
The Hollows is lovely this time of year.
Yeah, just ring the bell. It's a thing you can play.
Always with the
It is
bells.
important for you to understand that eventually the greatest and the first Roka will rule Ravensland. There's no running from him. Every day new clans join. And the orcs will retake the land.
When did this greatest and first begin his joining of the orcs?
Soon after the mist lifted, they found the Eye. And it gave him great power, defense. And power attracts power. He is kind. He has a few human pets at the Rose. I'm sure he would accept a few more. And as he conquers, I'm sure he will keep some. Doesn't look well for half-breeds, I'm sorry.
No offense.
And I hope you can understand the danger that I'm walking into with my love.
Oh, undoubtedly.
Well, that just proves the depth of your affection, doesn't it?
It does.
Tell us more about these pets.
Well, I've got a human blacksmith assistant that helps me. He's got a human jester. He's got another human that works in the archive library, who's slowly unwinding the tales of old, giving him the secrets he needs to meet his destiny. He trades with some humans. is not your typical orc leader. Orca, the first and the greatest, is magnanimous and kind.
Is his beloved orc as well?
She is, though fair, soft, not like most orc women.
Doesn't happen to have yellow eyes, does she?
I was thinking the same thing.
Beat me to it.
So again, he kind of tells us
Oh no.
like the second weird question you've asked. He's like, he has a face and she has dark eyes.
Good.
You ask odd questions, little one.
I sure do.
These are odd times.
So you play that, and I would assume he could probably see the strap to your back there.
Mhm.
And you will play in a company. And hopefully win acceptance. That Heldeman would be the first elf to live at the Rose.
If that is your desire, I still think you are trying to get you and your love killed. But each person to themselves.
Let us take a moment to talk about this, if you would. Try and huddle these three together out of your
she turns to him and she goes, Alla, this was a lot. Let's give them a moment. I think we have settled this. They've agreed. No, honey, it's not that clear yet. Let's give them a moment.
They're in.
No, we are considering this.
She might talk him out of it. And he points to you, Silva.
Now.
And
Was
she
I not
kind
the
of
one who wanted to negotiate?
helps him up, and they kind of they give the four of you space.
Okay. So, on the one hand, this seems like our best way to get into the eye and close to the Emperor. On the other hand, these two are crazy.
Well,
You
the
know,
good
I've never
news is
agreed with you any more than I do right now, Stan.
This Sroka is kind, and he'll simply behead us.
Stake our
Unless he
buddies
makes us his
outside.
pets.
So
which-
question from back in the day. So the demon that took Z Name's face at Amber's Peak,
Zerto.
that one. Was that a beautiful woman, or did she appear as a demon before we
Oh,
started?
she was pure fire.
All the time. Okay.
Mhm.
I could not recall if she unveiled herself as demon or had
Mm.
always looked demon.
Always.
And if there are humans trapped in there, imprisoned there, I'd love to get them out, but we don't know what the situation is until we get a closer look.
I think it's really hard to know whether this is more or less dangerous.
Yes, you're
It's
not
creative
wrong.
as shit. I'll give the four of you that. But
Look,
I don't think I
Osric
have the
just
answer.
fights him. Like, if this orc is the greatest and the first, Osric beheads him, proves that he's the greatest warrior, and then we take over the tribes.
Is that the plan?
What a simple idea.
I don't see anything that could go wrong.
Look, this would be way easier if we had bears, okay?
Bears.
Bears, of course.
All I'm saying is, if the Emperor has this gem, it'll be a lot easier to figure out what to do if we're there in the room with him, rather than having to work our way up through a castle full of how many orcs.
Exactly.
And I want access to his library.
Mm-hmm. I don't like it, but I think it may be our best bet.
gets us in the door. And that's more than what we could say of the plan we had going in at this point.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
So
They're
we're
in
agreed
love.
then?
Or we abandon our plan? Do we hide the gems? Or do we walk straight in with
Well, the
two?
one that we know that could spell them is apparently no longer in a position to do so.
So, because I'm a kind and generous, the first and the greatest GMs, I'm going to give you 10 minutes to think about it. Let's go to break. So are we going to break the news?
Yeah, we're done. We quit. We've decided Romeo and Juliet is not acceptable. Canceling the stream.
So during the break, they killed them. So now that you've got the bodies,
Yeah.
Surprisingly easy.
Yeah.
we already determined they aren't very good fighters.
From the die rolls, neither are we.
Yeah,
But yeah, I think, all right, we'll do it.
And they explain to you, though, you have to go through some marshlands. You got to go north of the lake, and then we'll go around the lake, and that's the shortest way to the Rose. Much easier than going south. It's a lot more treacherous. So the good news is you have traveled some of this, a good bit of this actually, north of the lake. I think that's how you ended up getting to Eye of the Rose. Plus, they know where they're going. So,
Right, I was going to say.
Yeah, there's no make way rolls needed, but we do need the other travel rolls. So who's going to keep watch?
I can keep watch. So how much more are we traveling? So we're in second quarter.
You're at the beginning of second quarter. Should have two hexes you can travel.
Cool. You want me to keep watch, or are you going to do it, Sten? Or someone else?
Yeah, my brain's tired.
Probably not doing it.
How are you doing on?
We'll see. The dice have been the dice today, but
Fair.
I'm decent.
I believe in you.
Oh.
See?
Look at
Look at
that.
that.
Oh,
Holy
jeez.
cow.
We were just saving them.
All
when you
the
needed to, right?
For the evening.
Found them. Found the sixes. Got them.
You used them all up, too.
Sorry.
So the four of you travel, and as was promised, the grasslands slowly turn into this marshland area. The smell is different. The insects are different. It's a little bit cooler than in the grasslands, and the two of them are traveling ahead of you. They know exactly where they're going. So even though you have traveled through these areas, each one of these is 10 kilometers wide, right? So this is all new land you haven't seen before. You just have a general idea of where you are. At one point they stop. And you can see her gesture to him to just hold a minute. And she walks the couple of paces that you are behind and approaches the four of you. She goes right to Thundercloud and she starts giving him affection, and he's very drawn to her. He nuzzles his nose and he likes her. And she says, I don't want the four of you to increase our level of danger. And I still don't understand what your purpose is for going to the Rose and why you're putting yourself in this much danger for us. I love him, but he doesn't think this far ahead.
I think, well, as charming as your story is, we're not doing this just for you. We have some business we'd like to discuss with the Emperor, and it seems like this may be an easier way for us to get in there than trying to just show up at the gate.
And you understand how dangerous he is.
I was told he was gentle and forgiving.
She kind of goes, If you're trying to establish trade, I'm sure there are safer places. I just don't know if you understand how dangerous this is. I understand why we're doing it.
Honestly, it's not the stupidest thing we've done.
He responds to supremacy of combat, yeah?
Something he respects, yes.
Would he accept challenge directly if he chooses to seek violence on us?
He has 3 champions you'd have to get through first. And she kind of looks back to see if he's out of our earshot, and it does look like Alcaron is. She turns back to you and she goes, "He's not an emperor of honor. I don't want you to mistake that.
No.
He could accept you for 2 days and wake up one morning and kill you himself. He's temperamental. And if he
Seems like the kind
perceived it, if he perceived you as a threat,
seems like that's not the attributes you want in a leader.
he won't succeed. It'll fall internally before he conquers anything.
What of this wife of his that has ensorcelled him?
I have never met her. I get a sense Alcaron does not trust her, and he seems suspicious of how much affection his emperor has of her. His calling her soft is a word I've never heard an orc describe another orc. And please understand, if this is your path, I do think it might help. But I can live with my own death. But to survive and see the 4 of you slaughtered would weigh on me.
Do you think that your death would be clean?
I would probably be dead before I realized it was happening.
You must really love him.
It was quite unexpected.
We're doing this of our own choice. You didn't drag us into this. We volunteered. But
So all
I
need
would
to know-
say if things go badly, you should try and have a plan to get yourself and Alcaron out of there.
She nods and walks back.
He's
And
a
you hear-
smith. He's a smith. Are you a smith?
Yes,
He said he was.
I could prove it now if you wish.
No, I trust you.
You have metal?
I have some.
I will show you then. I will fashion whatever you want. A trinket? Honey, we don't have time. She does not think I'm a good smith.
Well, not
I
without a
trust-
forge. We're in the middle of the swamp.
I will build a forge.
Mm.
We'll find stone.
Let us.
Tell him he's a good smith.
We'll survive, and then you can show me how good of a smith you are once you've proven your love.
If the greatest and the first accepts you, the first thing I will do is make you a necklace.
Agreed.
All right. Shall we continue?
I think
Yeah.
we have to. I need to know how this story ends.
As
Right.
as we set off, I kind of pat Thundercloud on the haunch, and I'm just like, "You ham."
So we're gonna finish out the second quarter heading north. There's a small river that you cross along the way. They explain to you that the lake is directly to the east, that this river feeds the lake. And once they have a chance, once you go around the lake after a night, you should be there hopefully by midday tomorrow. So we're looking at maybe around 3-4 o'clock in the afternoon. As you continue on, we're seeing a transition from these marshlands into more plains, not grasslands. You can see some hills up north, but again, no signs of mountains. Head into our third quarter.
Sure.
Yeah.
So
All right, I need a roll.
I'm on it. See how many non-6s I can get this time. Hey.
There it is.
We're back.
That's what we're used to.
All right, so that one is on my Banes, is on the skill die, so that's not pain yet. So I can push this, yeah?
You definitely can.
no, I mean it is you can push this, but it is a bane. It's not on the.
Yeah, if
Why
it was
was it
on
on-
the skill die, it wouldn't show up as a bane.
Why was it on the red die then? I don't understand. Whatever, okay.
I don't know. I showed it as a white die.
Oh, okay. I thought I saw it as red. Bedded eyes too, apparently. So how do I push things?
Should have.
Right.
You
Should
see
have
the
an
push
option
button?
right next to the roll result.
Sure don't, but maybe I'm like looking in the wrong place. Whatever. Oh, it's because I need to do this. Got it. I was on the wrong screen.
He also seemed to have rolled one less die.
Because he had a bane. You don't get to roll that die.
Oh, right. Duh. I remember how this
Cool.
game works.
Sweet willpower. Check.
All right.
Yep. Traveling with an orc and an elf, not keeping watch. Probably fine.
Oh, I kept
Everything's
watch.
gonna work out.
I kept watch. I
Did you?
was
Did you? You just didn't succeed. All right. Give me just 1 second.
I'm hoping
here.
we can collect one of every kin by the end of this campaign.
I tell you what I would like, and they're going to provide their own food and water, but I would like some
Resources.
rolls for today if I
Food
could.
and water rolls.
Yeah.
Can we refill water at the river? Is it fresh?
You can. So if your water die is not at the highest, you can change that before you roll.
That's in my gear. Haha. I got a cross, apparently.
Huh.
Loading.
So I've done a water. And I did a food. Cool. And low rolls are bad, right? So like my 10 on my 10 is fine.
A 1 or a
on
2 is what will
Yeah.
degrade you.
You're fine. It should make the adjustments on your gear automatically if you roll it.
Correct.
from there.
Cool.
Yeah.
Seems like it is functioning.
So as you head on, the lands are flat. And at one point, as you're walking, they stop and he says, "Have you ever seen a runestone of dwarf?"
I've seen dwarf writing. Is that it?
Follow me. It's on the way.
Oh,
Sure.
And you walk probably 2 or 3 kilometers, and you end up coming across a large stone that's kind of protruding from the ground, and it rises almost 6-7 feet tall, and maybe at its base 10 foot wide in diameter. And as you're approaching it, it just looks like a large jag in the ground. And as you get closer, and as I'm narrating this, at any point, if you guys want to stop something, just yell, right? As he's taking you around, you see runes that are carved and then painted on the rock itself. And they're colored in shades of red. There's very ornate writing in loops all around it. And one of the loops kind of favors maybe a tail, a lizard or a dragon tail on it. I can't read this. But someone can give me a lore roll.
Oh, we'll put me in, coach. Good thing I just pushed my wits. Hey.
Hey.
So, by no means do I think you speak Dwarven, but you can piece together what this says, Vasilla. And you're not reading all of it, but this is what you pick up. It appears to say, Tyrmir, son of Grunher, Lord of the Great Hall of Mountainfall, raises this monument so that the world shall forever fear and admire his manful slaughter of the spawn of rust in the Great War. What does it say?
It says that there was a great battle here, that the dwarves fought against the spawn of rust and won.
I think I would want the dwarves to win. What is rust?
As far as I can tell, brothers, an order of men that worship demons.
Why would they worship demons?
I don't know.
They're fools, mostly.
Maybe misled. Maybe.
They seem to believe it will give them power. Sometimes it does, at a cost.
And he quiets his voice a little bit and leans into Vasilla and Silva a little bit, trying not to be heard by Sten or Osric. I don't know if he's successful or not. Are they rust?
No.
No, of course not.
How do you know they're human?
I lean in really close to him and said, because I kill Rust. And I pat his arm and head back out.
He steps back and kind of gives you the top down. Turns to you, Osric. Did this one kill a man?
I'm trying to remember, did she actually kill a man?
I know she's killed at least one.
Is honorable fair combat? Different question.
That's not what you said.
That is not. That's true. That's not the question he asked. I think that he looks at her and then begrudgingly says, "Aye, she's killed men."
How?
She is small of stature, but fierce of arm.
You have not killed Orc?
By accident, I suppose I have.
You've killed Orc.
And Sten kind of looks at you and is like, when was this?
I have not killed Orc with my hand, no. Only with my choices.
Turns back to Osric. Has she killed Orc? Or is she talking of two mouths?
And now I'm like, wait, did she? Technically, we did kill these orcs.
Nope, we sure didn't.
they're-
We sure did not.
They're dead. I think that
The longer you take, the worse your credibility is about to get.
I
right? No kidding.
know.
I think he's going to say something to the effect of not through actions, but perhaps through inactions.
This is not helping.
No.
You're talking with two words. Has she killed Orc?
No. She
See,
likes to
we're gonna-
talk a big game.
That's what I
See?
thought.
That's
That's
what
what
I
I
said.
thought. It's fine. I believe it. I believe it. You killed many men. That's
No, like 2 or 3.
You haven't even killed a hand worth of men. He's annoyed. He's walking off.
As soon as he turns back the other way, I just look at the one. I was like,
Ixnay on the orc.
on
A.
the orc A.
Haldeman turns to you and she goes, "Please don't ever do that again."
I assure you they will.
Or is killing orc poor for sport?
Think about where we're going. And
They
who we're
love a
going there
challenge, little one.
Hmm.
So if anything can be interpreted as you challenging them, they won't let go.
I see.
It's like a gremlin that sees a penny.
There's 2 sides to every story, certainly.
And we continue on. All right. Let me get another watch as we head northeast.
I'm
Did
watching.
it take over?
If you want.
Where is she? Into travel, and we slip over here.
Oh, I will move myself out.
Oh, we just got reset. And we slip here.
I'm helping.
And we roll.
Very nice.
Fresh eyes. There you go.
So, as the sun is getting closer into setting, you can see the lake to your south. From where you are, you can see it's a very large lake. You remember seeing it from far away when you traveled here before. Easily 10, 15 kilometers wide. And at one point, the two of them stop and they say, "This could be as good a place as any."
All right.
Looks nice.
I'll be happy to start laying out camp.
All right, let's camp in Q4.
I get to making some dinner. We're fishing because we're near water.
You're a bit away from the lake. It would be probably a good 45-minute walk down. That doesn't mean you can't. But
No, I'd rather do some snoozing.
so as the two of them figure out that you're making camp, and they kind of go away, probably maybe a good 30 or 40 yards, pull some bedrolls out of their packs, and they're kind of setting up their shop a little farther away from you.
Okay.
Is that our make camp?
Jesus. It is. And as
We're so-
usual, it is terrible.
We're so good
God,
at
you
this.
you are just you're on your one wit die. You rolled it.
I mean, I could push it and then pass out, but
No, we don't. We don't need any personality dysfunction because you couldn't set up camp.
In this delicate
Shut up, it's
situation we're
fine.
in.
Stan loves love.
picked out this spot on purpose to make me look dumb.
Don't worry, you did that all by yourself.
Just seeing if I anything. What was that for? I don't think it was for make camp.
I think it's for your lead the way.
What are we trying to figure out?
Yeah, it's forage hunter lead the way. I had a thing that I can spend a willpower point to auto succeed, but it's only for forage hunter lead the way, not make camp.
Got it.
So what does
My
a
brain's
shadowy
very
made
tired.
camp do for us?
I will tell you here in just a moment.
Ah, I see.
Make camp mishap.
There we go. All right, so making camp, and who's going to, or we should have whoever's going to keep watch in the second part of the fourth quarter. Probably
Yeah, I
should
can-
speak now,
I can.
and then someone needs to keep watch now.
I'm still pretty fresh. I could keep watch now.
Yeah, I'll do one half. You can do the other.
Okay.
What I wanted. There we are. Easy as pie.
Did you get, oh, nice, 2 successes.
I see the armies of bears approaching.
What did I put in this tea that you see bears approaching? I'm concerned.
Vasilla welcomes them with open arms. The rest of us are slaughtered.
Like a whole army seems like a lot. I don't know. A lot of mouths to feed.
So Sten's making camp. Osric and Vasilla are sleeping. Silva's keeping watch. So you guys, Osric and Vasilla, you can renew. And I guess Q1, we're going to have to flip that so everybody else can get some rest. Pretty uneventful. Camp is put together. Sten, you've gathered together some good firewood. If you have a fire
Not that
going,
good.
the tent is up. They have kept to themselves. I don't know whether Silva or Sten, you're going to reach out to them or let them be.
If they want their own camp, I'm not going to bother them.
Yeah, let him be.
Yeah, they have a very simple lean-to that they build out. So we can go into Q1
Okay.
on the 24th. And then who's going to keep watch between Osric and Vasilla?
I kept watch. I rolled my keep watch scouting because I thought we were doing Silva first, me second.
Vasilla rolled early.
I already rolled. Sorry.
Oh, you did roll. Did you?
Yeah,
I'm
yeah,
sorry. I
Yeah,
apologize.
One
Okay.
success.
Vasilla
Okay,
rolled
one second.
early and
Got it.
still pulled in a bane, but didn't have to push.
And
So,
Osric, you have a quarter.
I have
here
a
'cause
quarter
you
day.
rested. First day.
Uh,
It's morning.
I think if they're not both sleeping, I will spend some time working on their swordsmanship with them to try to give them some advice or help or training.
Here's a cool looking move. Yeah.
Yeah, she loves the idea when you propose this. And he at first goes, well, we teach each other.
Of course.
I imagine there's human things you can show me, but I'll show you sword play so you can fight.
Of course.
And I think you're pretty good at not bruising his ego because you are far superior. Vasilla, you spent some time sitting and watching. You spent some time walking and watching. And at one point, You're a decent distance away from Osric, and where Stan and Silva are sleeping under the tent, inside the tent. And you look to your left, look to your right, and you're I mean, you had a success. You look to your left, you look to your right, and seemingly out of nowhere, you would swear a half second you just looked there, looked away, and looked back. You see a woman. And she's standing and facing you. You pretty quickly realize that it's Elf. Maybe it's a man. It's a little hard to tell. They're hairless, bald, and they're clothed, but it looks like they're clothed in some sort of garment made of maybe vines and leaves, not cloth. And as you're standing there a little stunned, you'd swear the vines were moving and alive.
It's the elf druid we always wanted, you guys.
My other character.
I like that you still think it's an elf.
She whispers, Vasilla, quietly, too quiet. The volume is you could tell this. Her words could not reach you, but they do. And she says, "We need to talk before you get to the rose." Can I get an insight roll?
Yeah. She seems trustworthy.
Let's come closer to the writhing vines.
I think I will actually push this. Like, random ladies with talking pines are...
Might be relevant.
They're on my list of things that are suspicious.
So at first, you're enamored. Startled. Because she or he appeared to come out of nowhere. But somehow, you trust her. And they sit down on the ground and motion for you to come.
I'll look behind me to see that, everyone is busy, and then I'll head that way.
And just so you know,
Nonchalantly.
yeah, Osric is within yelling distance.
Yeah.
Like if you were to scream, Osric would hear you. But you sitting down, I think Osric may not be able to see you from this distance. And Vasily, as you walk up to them, as you start to sit, you see the grass kind of fold in to create a comfortable seat for you.
I'll sit.
I've been listening, and you're headed to the rose. Yes? I have a proposition. and she pulls out a ruby.
Hmm.
Do you see this? Do you know what it is? I think you do.
Hmm. I know what those are sometimes.
Put your hands out.
Put my hands out.
And she lays the stone in your hands. This is how you know it's not real. That it's just a stone. Because you can't hear it, right?
Hmm.
But you believed it was.
Hmm.
This is a perfect replica of Viridia.
Do I know Viridia?
Viridia is the stone in the sword at the rose.
Hmm.
You have to understand something. Time is running very, very short. Soon, the runners are going to storm the rose.
Hmm.
And there's going to be a great battle. I think the runners will win, but they'll pay a terrible cost. They're going for Viridia. There'll be so many lives lost. I can tell you how you can get in. You can swap this ruby in the sword. Bring Viridia back to me. You will have saved dozens of elf lives and dozens of orc lives.
And is Viridia... Is she like Iridine? Does she care about lives?
You know more than I realized. No. Viridia is a sister. Angry, cruel, greedy. That's why she was put into the sword. You'll want to wrap her tight and not touch her with your flesh. I'll return the stone to the runners, and there'll be no slaughter at the eye.
Are you one of the runners or friend of?
No. I want no violence. Somebody as small as you can do this. And whatever treasure you find near the sword, you and your friends can just take. I'll let you leave with all of it.
How do you control the vines?
It's something I've always done.
Hmm.
And she kind of puts her hand up, and you just see like a flower sprout from the ground in reaction to her hand. Grow like time lapse in front of you.
Do you taste magic? Like my friend? Or do you smell it, like the stories say?
He was human, I assume.
Hmm.
Humans insist on separating it. They have them, their bodies, their minds separate. Their bodies, their minds, and the power of magic all separate for them. It's not how it is. It's all one.
Hmm.
I think it's how they organize things. They're simple.
Hmm. Now that's something we can agree on. I don't know that I care to have.
We quickly cut to Oakenheart, and we see Aldrich smash his thumb with a hammer. So he
I
couldn't
don't
do
know
that.
that
He would need two hands, but whatever.
Right. Yeah. Oh. Poor Aldrich. I don't know that I want the Red Runners to have a greedy and vengeful spirit at their command. From everything I've heard, they are of like mind without the push of a ancient.
It is one of the originals. They'll worship it. They know not to return it to a body. They won't bring her back. It's one of them. It's their people.
Hmm.
It's safer with Elf than anybody. And you can't stop that.
Perhaps. But then Zygofer will come for them, no?
I think they hope for that.
They think they can fight Zygofer? Or do they wish to join?
They want violence.
Hmm.
They do it to protect Elfkin, to protect the lands that we made this.
Hmm.
I'm going to hold this stone. Walk back this way, you'll find me. But I want you to think about this. You're walking into violence. And then more violence is coming after you. I know how you can get in with no one finding you. It'll take you directly to the library. From there, you find the sword. Switch the stones. Come back out the same way. That orc will know no different.
Hmm.
And you will have saved so many lives, including your own if you are planning on going through that front door.
Hmm. I hear you. But I'm afraid that is a short-term investment. The Blood Mist and its owners will come for violence eventually.
The runners are more capable of facing that than you are, little one.
Perhaps.
But you have time. Just walk towards me, and you'll find me.
I'll pick up my glass of tea that I was walking around. I'll cheers to her, drink, stand up, and head back.
As you start to walk back, you look back over your shoulder, gone.
Well, Stan's not going to like that.
So, speaking of Sten, let's start the first part in the mid-afternoon when everybody is awake. Second part of the day. Your two friends don't seem in a huge hurry.
Sounds like we're getting close.
Since they're not in a hurry, when we're all up and like breakfasting, I'll wave everyone over So, you know how Aldrich, a friend of ours, I'll say to Silva, used to control the elements and metals to some degree? There is an elf that controls plants around us. Keep your head down, don't worry. She confirms that the orcs do have a ruby and wants us to sneak in and steal it from them, to give to the Red Runners to stop violence and loss of life. She'll probably can hear us. I expect she can through the plant somehow.
That doesn't seem like that'll get any closer to what we're trying to do.
She knew a lot. Didn't blanch when I dropped a name that I would know. Identified this one as Viridia. Says she's vengeful, hateful, greedy. That's why she was placed into the sword. We shouldn't touch her with our own hands.
That makes sense. It makes sense that the orcs would have such an artifact as well.
So she wants to give it to the Red Runners,
who also want violence, but will worship it. Possibly try to take Zygerfer on when he comes in power. Think it's probably a better idea than going in through the front door.
I don't like anything about that.
Apparently the Red Runners intend to fight soon. So there'll be, if we go in through the front door and we can survive long enough, there will be violence beside.
And what does she want in return? Well, she wants to give the gem.
She wants the gem. We can take any other treasure we want. She knows the secret way in. Through the library, to the sword.
But we're not doing this for treasure, are we?
Nope. And I also didn't discuss all that we know, or plan to know. I'm not quite that foolish. I trust her, though. Like, she has...
So does anybody think?
Yeah, she has the way of my, she has the way of my uncle about her. He was always quiet, but was of good heart, sound judgment. I don't think she's lying, nor do I think her intentions are poor. I don't know, I agree with her choice making, but she's not me ill. She is like one of the few people that we've met in these 3 weeks, other than the sisters, that don't want to kill someone.
Well, this goes back to the original question. Why are we doing this?
Well,
If we're doing this to collect the stones,
And we can't hand it back to them.
well,
no.
maybe she could be convinced that we are in fact a way to solve the overriding issue. She certainly knows that demons want to kill everyone, enslave them at best, do worst. I don't think she has any fondness for that. I don't think she is of demon. I was concerned, but she doesn't smell of it or feel of it, doesn't blanch at their name, didn't squirm when I used Zygerfer's name or mentioned the blood mist. I don't
No
think she's a
yellow
demon.
eyes, I assume.
No yellow eyes. You know we all look for that immediately anymore. I think she just carries the same gift as Aldrich did, just for plants. And she describes it in an elf way, which is beautiful, mind you.
So, Osric, you have been keeping your left eye on the couple. They're a good bit of distance away. They cannot hear you, but you see them finally getting up and arising as Vasila's talking. And oddly, as soon as they kind of stand up, it looks like they're about to break down their lean-to they just go right back to laying under it and seem to be falling back asleep.
That seems like trouble, Craig. Don't really want to go over there and fall asleep.
And the four of you hear this at once. Beautiful, almost song-like. She says the truth. And you see her walk out from behind where Stormcloud is.
I presume that that is your doing, and I point back at the couple.
They're tired. I understand what the four of you are trying to do or think that you can do. And I admire it. But you're walking to your death. You'll either be killed at the gates, or he'll let you inside and play with you for a time and kill you. Or you might amuse him and he could keep you alive for longer. But when the Red Runners arrive, it's all death. You can get in there without being noticed. Find the sword. It's in her bedroom. Tell you exactly how to get there.
If you know what we're trying to do, you know we can't give the Red Runners the stone.
Why don't we grow that tree when we get there? Think of it this way, old man. I'm offering you a safe way in. Directions for getting the stone safely and coming out. And I can promise you, when you come back out, it'll just be me. And then we can discuss whether you can keep the stone or give it back to me. But it has to get out of his hands. And if the runners know it's not there, even if I don't give it to them, there'll be countless lives saved.
So if they know it's not there, or we don't give it to you, then they'll be after us. And then it's just 4 lives you have to worry about, isn't it?
I don't have that answer. All I know is what I've seen. And what I've seen is countless dead orcs, countless dead elves. And either the Red Runners come back with her, or he has her and understands how important she is. He doesn't understand that.
Does the Empress? I fear she's of demon.
Oh, no. She's not what she appears to be, but she's not demon. She's more afraid of the stones than she is desiring them. She thinks he's under the spells and that the stones talk to him.
One of our companions, they know our direction at least. Were we to abandon them at this juncture, that would be a loose thread in this plan.
It's all bad options in front of you. What I'm offering is at least you'll be alive to see what happens.
Do you know the yellow-eyed ones? Shapeshifters?
Of course I do. They all share the same parent.
Hmm. And what do you think of the parent?
She's sad. They know what they've done.
I think I'm happy to grow the tree later. You keep those two alive, and don't let them die stupidly for their love. We'll have a conversation about what to do next once we retrieved her.
I will close my ears, keep them asleep, and give you time.
Hmm.
And she walks back behind Thundercloud. It's one of those things where, like, you know, she just passes for a blink out of sight, and then she's gone. Just it makes absolutely no sense. And at the same time, there's some small blue flowers that you never noticed that got there, that wither and die and fall off the wagon.
I knew you hate to trust people, Sten, but we need friends, and you know as well as I do walking through that front door will get us dead.
It does sound like a slightly better plan.
Osric and you can kill and are mighty, certainly, but
Sure.
not that good.
And I assume this would have
I'm
come
not
up.
saying
just real
it's not
quick.
a good idea
Sorry.
to try and get
We have a little bit
inside,
of a
but
delay.
when we come walking out that door, she's going to be ready for us.
So, real quick, one thing that definitely would have been brought up in conversations with Alcaron is there's about 75 orcs under his command there. So, sorry, we're in a little bit of a delay, Brian, because your internet's dragging. So you're gonna have to say what you said again because I talked over you by mistake.
Yep. I'm sure it's our best idea to get inside, but when we come walking out the door, she's going to be ready for us
Mm-hmm.
to say no. And I don't think she's going to take no for an answer, no matter how peaceful she talks. So I'm all in favor of taking her information and using it. I just don't trust her beyond that.
What do you think, Osric?
We should at least hear the details of her plan.
And you, Silva?
I suppose it's best we hear her out.
What a day. The day that I look for peace, and you look for the foolish entrance to the front. I'll beat I'll slap my foot on the ground in like a rhythmic line from an elven tune.
It's pretty.
Nice. Well, I'll walk back to where I found her originally.
And she's there. Are you going there alone?
Well, I think I'm at least going to go with.
Yeah, I don't think I would leave them to do this alone.
So
Yeah.
make it the four of you.
Yep.
Well,
So we'll hear your plan for Rin. And leave the decision for its final home till after.
in the southern foot of the eye, in the shadows of the cliffs, is an old village, or the ruins of a village. It's where elves allowed the Asleans to live. Long destroyed. You'll find a chapel. Don't know what condition it's in, but you'll be able to tell. And I'll draw it for you, where the entrance is. It'll take you up through the insides of the rocks that hold up the rows. It'll take you to the library. I'll have you carry this with you. She has an acorn suddenly at her fingertips. You won't get there through those passages without me, and without my help. But I'll lead you to the library. There'll be a man there. He will not give you any bother. And I will talk you through how to get to her bedroom. Find the sword. Replace it. And how to get out safe.
So if you know all this, why don't you just do the deed?
Because when I do it, someone dies. The old man in the library. I have to kill him. The little one you don't. And that's one more life I've saved.
Told he is of man, researching for the Emperor. Greatest and first.
He's keeping himself alive, feeding drips of information from what little is left of that great library. He knows not to say everything, he just says enough. Can't fault him for that.
Nor could I. Alright. How long a walk to this village?
It's right at the foot. You should be able to get there before nightfall. I'd make camp early and go in night. And I'll talk to you through this. And she offers the acorn to you.
Take it.
There are measures the elves put into place in this back passage that I can walk you through so you can make it safe. And when you're back, I will meet you in that chapel and we can discuss what to do with her.
Were you one of the elves that used to live here? You're very long lived, no? Look at Silva. Yeah? No?
She certainly could be. I kind of give her a look.
I have to build the passage.
Why was the sword left there?
It wasn't. He found it.
And that led him on his grand, conquering dream.
she's whispering to him, telling him that with blood, he will be emperor of all of Ravensland. But all Viridia wants is violence. She doesn't affect us like she does orc or man. Because we understand her. Their minds are too simple.
I look around at my crew.
Craig, am I understanding correctly that we think Vasilla is going to go by herself?
You can ask.
All right, I'll have to ask. Can we all take this passage? I'm not sure that Vasilla alone would be safe.
Yeah, we're not sending her in there alone.
She shakes her head at you and smiles. She goes, Warrior, there is no future where you would let her go by herself.
Well, good.
In fact, you saved 2 lives.
And if you see the future like you claim, then you know that we will not be handing over this stone after we've retrieved it.
I don't see that far ahead. If I had more years, I'm sure it would come. But it gets very foggy. I only learned of you last year in my dreams.
Is that all, Elf? Or is that your wholeness with the world?
This might shock you, little one, but we're all different.
Well, you're the first full elf that wasn't there at the forging of the demons that I've met, so can't help a girlfriend wondering.
Haldeman is good. She's young. But I'll take care of them.
What will become of them?
I think I have a better chance of talking him out of this than the 4 of you would. They're walking to their death.
Yes. Even I can see that future.
Hope you have better luck convincing him of that than we did.
I will, and I do.
Of course.
They're
Well-
going to sleep a little bit. They will sleep a little bit longer. You will pack your gear. You'll know where to go. And when you get to the chapel, I'll tell you.
All right, then.
So she's holding this bundle of cloth that Vasilla knows what's in there. I think the other 3 of you have a good idea of what's in there. And I think she's waiting for someone to outstretch their hand to kind of solidify this deal. You can tell that this will be when you have made a promise, is when you ask for this gem.
I'll stand up and do a formal bow and then trade her a I'll trade her a acorn I've kept from Oakhart,
Oh, very nice.
and I'll say I'll be back for that.
So she takes the acorn from you. She gives you a side smile that a knowing smile. She kisses it. And she just places it towards her chest, and the vines and leaves wrap around it, and it goes out of your sight. And she hands you the package.
What should we call you?
So many names.
I mean, I have some ideas, but I'd rather have one from you.
Call me Murgaline. That's my newest name.
Oh my
Well.
god. I have so many ideas.
Travel safe. Trust yourselves. Listen. Shed no blood.
If we can manage it.
You will. Let's go to credits.
Broken hearts embrace the king, a band of heroes bold. With tales of glory told, Osric with his mighty blade, Rustbite of demonic hue, and Silver half-elf merchant king, their journey did ensue. Silver trades and secrets hold a smile upon her face, while Osric swings his fearsome sword in battle's fierce embrace. Through Raven's land they wander in search of ancient stones, to free the land from darkness where evil's a terror roams. With courage as their banner and hearts forever true, they seek the light within the night, their quest for...
Let me get my back.
All right, welcome back.
Yeah.
All right. Let's start with tradition. Let's start with Jim. Jim,
Oh,
thoughts, stars, and wishes.
it's good to be back.
Is it hard to get back into Ostrich?
You know, I feel like there was a bit in the beginning where I wasn't really sure where he or I were going, but it's coming back together.
Yeah.
It's coming back together. This is an exciting twist. I actually, in my head, my thinking was that the orcs were the last place that I wanted to go. But you know, everyone else did a pretty good job of convincing me that that's really the only real lead that we have. So here we are on our way to probably not kill 75 orcs.
No, it was a promise. There wouldn't be any bloodshed.
Uh-huh.
Sten,
For sure.
you are the most trusting of people. Trusting score of 0.
I had a star. It was like right on the tip of my tongue. What was my star? Hold on, I'm gonna find it again. I'm gonna look at my notes and see if I can find it.
I've hidden it.
I've lost it. It was somewhere in the space of the Romeo and Julietness of it all, and this let's do music and all of that. That was really great. Wishes. I am definitely excited to see how this sneaky works out. And very curious to see how this gaggle of orcs that are growing by the moment goes for us.
Any predictions
Or
or wishes?
I predict that this is not going to go as smoothly as Murgaline believes. And I wish that I don't have to murder all of these orcs.
75 orcs.
That's a lot of orc murder. And
I
I
can
don't
say
know if
with
I can do that
confidence you
well.
would not murder
I
75.
I won't make it through 75 orcs.
Exactly.
Ben would have to get some of them.
Right.
I mean, they're not lizard men. I'm pretty sure you'd be fine.
All right, Brian. Thoughts, stars, and
Yeah.
wishes.
Gosh.
back,
Well,
by the
I
way.
mean, pardon?
Your internet's back, by the way.
Good. Yeah. I mean, until
Just
it's
in
not
time.
again. I don't know what the deal is. Anyway, yeah, it's good to be back. Obviously, I'm hoping we get into a regular schedule again because I don't want to have a gap like this because the dice obviously need a lot of time to warm up.
They do.
Uh,
Cold.
Yep. From a star's perspective, I think my favorite moment was when we're traveling along to go to an elf castle occupied by orcs, and we have a random encounter with an elf and an orc, and you have the audacity to look surprised that we're going to take advantage of that to try and get to this tower.
I was surprised that it came up. It's a random encounter I've been dying to have come up when the dice roll, and the fact that it came up when it did. There's nothing in the random encounter that ties them to Eye of the Rose, but I immediately had to.
But
tie
how
them to
could
Eye
you
of the
not?
Rose.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah, it was obvious, and it's cool. It's cool. We are destined to make stories.
There is a small part of me that is worried that Murgaline is here because Craig looked at this plan and like, these people are all gonna die. I have to give them a chance.
There is,
but I
no
also don't think you do
there's no
that.
GM fiat here.
All right, did I lose you again?
You did.
Okay, all
You
right,
roboted
good.
it up.
I didn't think so because that didn't seem like your vibe. Yeah, I didn't think you'd do that, but yeah, and then wishes. I want to see how this turns out. This is going to be fascinating.
It's going to be fascinating. All right, Nate. Start.
I hope you got that.
Stars and wishes.
Yeah, I mean that's just it. Emotional whiplash of like, again, having some direction, creating a direction, and then immediate detour. Like, oh. Silva is frustrated.
How so?
She's very, very willing to set her heart on a plan, and doesn't like having to like turn this plan down. And especially coming from an elder elf, it's very teenager versus mom coded.
Yeah.
Like, an authority is telling me what to do, a very like almost parental authority, and it's frustrating her.
Well, and I think or have a sense of maybe how she can be telling the truth, but not telling you the truth, right?
Yeah.
Like, I think you understand her, 700-800 year advantage.
Exactly. And she's laying out like a lot of the stuff she's saying is correct. Like walking straight in is probably a death trap.
Yep.
And the fact that she's right about that, very frustrating.
Like, no, this is a good plan.
And if she's
Shut up.
if she's telling the truth about the Red Runners, has really, I mean, that was something that was not a factor in your calculus with this original plan, right? And that, if she's saying within days that castle is going to become a battlefield.
Yeah, that's where Silva's at. Stars, I think just the moment she pulled out the fake gem and all of us lost it to a certain degree. And Dave just has to be there, just locked into the moment. Those of us sleeping and hanging out at camp are just like,
Huh? Didn't see that coming.
Is that an RUBY?
and yeah, I'm with everyone else. I'm ready to see we're full speed ahead. Let's see what happens here at the tower or at the Eye of the Rose. It's going to be interesting, whatever happens.
I could not agree more. Uncle Dave, thoughts, stars, and wishes.
I think we all fell back in pretty quick, which is nice. So I'm gonna do we all get a little star, right? Because I think we're all a little nervous. We're all really love the game and our characters, and I know that folks out there like what we're doing, and we're just like all a little nervous, and so we all just kind of fell in, and it felt good really quickly, like maybe half an hour, like, but it was like quick up. So good job, us. Welcome back. Wishes are, I'm excited about the rose. I'm excited that like we have a possible new ally that so like when we were in Amber's Peak, there was someone else. It was I'm getting my M names mixed up now. The yellow-eyed people that like controlled vines and got us out right. There was like a vine trap thing that we almost died on.
That was Marigold that pulled you.
Marigold, M name.
Yeah.
Knew it was a different M name.
Yeah.
Marigold got us out right. So it was like, it's interesting to me. I like that it's like has parallels.
Yeah.
I guess that we're like sneaking into a castle the back way, which apparently is a thing elves do. So I'm really excited about that. Really stoked to see how it turns out.
So I like everything that was said. Really happy to come back. Like I like doesn't feel like we've been gone that long, which is what I was hoping.
It
would
was a
be the
whole
case.
year, man. A
I
whole
know,
year.
That's a long time. Shockingly, I can't believe how the 5 of us look younger. That's incredible.
Skinnier.
Yeah, lost weight and everything. You'll appreciate this, Brian. This makes me even more excited about Trail because it reminds me of how great it is to settle into a game where you've played so many sessions for so long.
For sure.
So for those of you that have not been watching our Trail of Cthulhu play that Brian is the GM or the keeper on, you should do it. I'm a player in that game. It is phenomenal. We've got 20 plus episodes. It'll be coming back in October or November. And that's what like about halfway, I think it was during the break, Brian, I was just like, God, I want to play James again. I want to go back into somebody that, you know, I don't have like 5 sessions with that I have a long time with it. And I've got another long-term play that I'm doing with Anthony Boyd, Runeslinger. I play in a Call of Cthulhu game of his where I've been playing the same character for a while. And just, I think it's all of that all at once. Like I was so happy, like he and I hadn't played in months and I got to play with him, I think Sunday night or Monday night. And it was just like, God, there's something we don't get to do that very often. We don't get to live in in our characters for so long and to create all of it. So that makes me very excited. So October 9th, so 2 weeks from today, we'll be back. And then we'll be back again on the 23rd. And we're going to go every other Thursday and just see, how far we can go. On the other alternate Thursdays, we are playing Isle of the Damned. If you want to see something completely different, which is a grindhouse style Call of Cthulhu game, you can catch that. And then, as I'm sure you saw on the schedule during the opening and during the break, we also have a phenomenal game of Monster of the Week going on. And if you miss Nick Westbrook, who has also played Vasilla, he's playing in that game as well. So we'll see everybody in 2 weeks.
Howdy, friends. Thank you for watching. All our content is archived and organized in playlists on the Third Floor Wars YouTube channel. Check it out. And if you could like, follow, subscribe, and even set your notifications to this channel on YouTube and Twitch, we'd appreciate it, and it'll make sure that you catch all of our content. I talk with creators, designers, and experts across the gaming landscape in every episode of our podcast, Tabletop Talk. Open up your favorite podcatcher and search for Tabletop Talk from Third Floor Wars. Support your creators. They make the content you love, and it's your support that makes it happen. If you want to help us, go to Third Floor Wars on patreon.com, and you can help us for as little as $1 a month. Thanks again. We'll see you next time. Take care.